I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Small crowd this morning. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
I will move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved to second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of claims for payment.
And I will move to approve the claims for payment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the county audit report, fiscal year ending June 30th of 2014. This is a copy we have of it. And a cover letter. Did you guys get the cover letter? Yeah, you got it.
Yes.
Any questions on it, or? I don't know if you were here when she went through it with us. She went through it back in December.
It was pretty brief this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was.
There's some comments in the back, if you wanted to look at those.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, I'll ask for the approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the county audit report for 2014.
And I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is set date and time for a public hearing, 2015 budget amendment. And we want to have one of these and be done for the year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the suggested date is April 8th,
Do we set a time on that or not?
10 during the meeting. I like 10:02, but it's up to you guys to set the time.
So it's the first thing we do? Okay. I will move to approve April 8th at 10:02 for the fiscal year 15 budget amendment hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have on here is county mileage reimbursement rate. We are currently at 42 cents per mile, and I believe federal is pushing 60 cents per mile. 58, is it?
57.5.
57.5. So we have it on here. We have a list of different counties of what they're currently getting. Some people do a number below federal rate, so it's always fluctuating. Some people just have a set rate. Do you know when they do that federal rate? Is that annually? Okay. I didn't know if it was a monthly or annual thing. So if you guys would like to change that rate, I'm open for any suggestions.
I'd like to say that there was no push to do this from anyone, not employees or anything. It's just that this information was put out less than 2 weeks ago for all county auditors to respond to, and I thought since the information was the most current and it was such a large responding audience that you might like to just see and consider it, so I put it on. But there was no push to change it, and I'm not urging you to, but if you do, fantastic. If you don't, fantastic. So.
Okay.
I would say though that if you adopt something that is similar to other counties where they go under the federal rate by a set either percentage or cents, that would be easier to handle on a yearly basis, where when the feds up their rate or reduce their rate, whatever, we can just have ours go in tow with it, and I wouldn't have to necessarily bring it to you again and say, hey, let's reconsider this, because my understanding is when they set their rate that they have research and studies behind it that show the cost for the use of a vehicle to do what gas prices are, what mileage, that type of thing when they do their federal rate.
And then it just automatically changes.
Right. So if you set it
Each
like
year.
the top one, I'll just take it there. It says 10 cents less than the IRS rate. If they upped it, let's say to 65 cents, we could just automatically adjust ours if your resolution says that that's what you're gonna do, you know, whatever. So you don't necessarily even have to act on this today because I didn't prepare a resolution, but if you wanted to deal with that, you know, we could. I just brought it to you.
Okay.
Quick
So
question.
something we will, go ahead, Darryl.
If the feds, they do a study and they figure out what it costs to operate a vehicle, then why don't we pay what the feds pay? If that's what it costs to operate the vehicle per mile.
Good question.
I don't know the answer, but I can tell you some of the comments that the other audit, you can have this too, so. that you
Oh,
can
I was
read
just,
it.
I'm just asking.
No, that's okay.
That would
Does it
be-
go by
Some of
ranges,
them.
like area, regions?
This is their base rate, and then they actually have a rate that changes, my understanding is, in your geographical area, so like per diem, I believe,
Oh, okay.
where it might be more expensive. Maybe I'm confusing the two, that per diem is the only one that changes. But anyway, when they do this, there is a study that's involved when they do it, and some of the other auditors said that the reason that they do less is because they want to encourage using the county vehicles
Yeah.
rather than people pocketing cash for using their own vehicles.
Yeah.
And so that was the purpose of saying so much cents less than their rate, is because they don't just want to hand out money left and right if they have a vehicle available, which we don't necessarily have a training vehicle. So I personally have used Don's vehicle a couple times from the assessor, and then I've used Jody's truck, which I know was the intention of when you had it. But because he takes his home, he's actually charged a rate to take it home, and when I use it, he still pays that rate, and
When you use it overnight,
yeah.
yeah. But for a
He
day,
pays a set fee for the week because.
but a daily, if you just took it during the middle of the
Right.
day, that's not a problem. You bring it back to him by the end of the day.
Right, but I mean, like the times I've taken it to Spencer or Okoboji area, I think, and had it for maybe 3 days,
Hmm.
and he had to pay for that, you know, and, I mean, he could turn around and tell me to pay him back, but he didn't. It would just be nice if we had a training vehicle, it'd be a lot easier, you could just say, take that unless it's not available, and then the mileage rate applies after that, but
Okay.
just talking.
Nope, I'm fine. Anybody have any questions? Something you want to put on the agenda? Something you want to change, not change?
I think it should be a discussion. but-
Yeah, I think it, yeah. I just looking here, I think we look like we might be a little below average.
But there are people much lower than us
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
you know,
not
you
as
look at
many,
the
but-
range, and the median, we're pretty close to the median, and but there are definitely people that are higher. And I like your idea. The discussion I would like to have would be the sliding rate with feds.
Mhm.
You know, and there are more than a few that are 10 cents under. You know, that would put us up to. It would increase our rate, but it would move us up and down with the feds that have done the studies. So, you know, and I don't know if we'd want to move that into, it would work if it was on our fiscal year a little bit better, so that, I don't know, we could definitely have that discussion.
It'd be nice to know ahead of time, so I would like to discuss it again, or look at it a little more closely, so that we can adjust
It
for
was-
the budget to start July 1st.
Appreciate you sharing the information though, so that we have a discussion.
Franklin County does like 5 or 10 cents under the fiscal year, and they just said it at
Right.
the beginning, it's part of their organizational meeting at the beginning of the year, and whatever the federal rate is at that time, they set it, and then it's good for the whole year. So you can budget for it, you know, it's not quite matching up with your fiscal budget, but you can plan for it, relatively speaking. So it doesn't change all of the time, because otherwise it would be crazy, especially if people don't file those claims right away.
So do you know when the feds set theirs? I mean, if they do it at their organizational
I'm guessing
meeting, they
that
must have it?
I'm guessing it has something to do with the fall, with the changing of the federal fiscal year, I'm guessing, but that's a total guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because that would make sense, or for us to be able to put it in like the budget letter that goes out with the worksheets or something.
And then have it match up in
Mhm.
July, yeah.
But which would, yeah, I mean, we would have to find out when they release theirs. And I do like the, either the percentage rate of the federal rate or the, like, say 10 cents under or whatever. I like that, and then that's just automatic, like Jessica said.
I think
so.
we all would appreciate one that doesn't change very often.
Yeah.
Just because I can't remember.
Mhm.
Franklin's fourth highest of.
Yeah,
all
there's,
studies.
yeah, no, I'm not saying that's a good number, but yeah, I just know they do it based off the federal rate. Yeah, they're fourth highest. Are they 5 cents under?
Of the
They're
study.
They're at 52 cents.
Oh,
They're
goodness.
5 cents under feds.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was that high.
So I don't know that I'm ready to make a decision today, but I do want to definitely consider it again.
Okay.
Unless you have something you want to throw out there, Ron.
I think I've already thrown it out, but I think it's worthy of discussion yet. So,
The Fed sets theirs somewhere between November and January on average. They're hitting December-ish these last few years.
Okay, thanks.
so actually, that would
Fit
give
well.
us time to, yeah, fit it
Mhm.
into our budget.
Mhm.
And actually, we still have time to fit it into our budget.
But it's
this year
for-
if we wanted to change.
It's for a calendar year though, isn't it? Doesn't it say 2015?
It does, yeah. New standard mileage rate now available, business rate to rise in 2015. So
Yeah.
it looks like they're doing it by calendar year.
Which is still good for us because we could fit it into our fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they set their rate, we match it up to 10 cents less or 5 cents less, or a percentage, you know, like
Yeah.
a 75%.
We just don't change till
whatever it
July.
is.
Right.
Even though they change in January, we just won't change till July.
Right,
They'll
and
set the
we're
price.
set in for that year, but then
But
as they
then half a
change.
year you don't, you're actually. if you're
But we'll
doing
trail
a-
it the following year.
We'll
But
always
if you're doing a
trail the-
resolution that says 10 cents less than the IRS rate and you don't start it until July, you have a half a year that you're not accurate for what their rate is.
Right.
So you just put that in the wording too.
Do whatever you want. I would prefer that if the
We'll always
Fed
be
rate is
trailing.
on a calendar year, that you would keep yours on a calendar year as well, because,
But it's data on an economic study, and we're just sitting 6 months behind them. It's retroactive, I mean.
I know, but what I'm saying is if somebody comes in and says, oh, look, our policy book says Fed's rate is whatever it is, and ours is always 10 cents less, they're gonna look it up for the current year.
Yeah.
And
We
then they're
could-
gonna submit
we
it for
could
10
do it
cents, yes.
either
I think we
way.
could
Yeah.
do, yeah, I think we could do it that
We
way.
could do it either way, and really, the bottom line, with the few cents adjustment either way, it's not gonna break us.
No, I know it's
So,
not, that's why I'm
we
saying,
could-
why
we
don't
could
you
do
wait
that.
till the
Yeah.
fiscal year, because it's not gonna, chances are your budget's gonna already more than cover whatever it is, even if they increase it, because I don't know how everybody does theirs, but when I do mine, I don't figure out how many miles we're gonna travel.
No.
I look at what
You
was
can't.
paid last year
Mhm.
and go roughly about the same unless I'm planning on going to more stuff, and then I figure it accordingly. I don't really even care what the rate is, I just have to know when I submit it, what it is. And if we say 10 cents less than the rate, but that doesn't take effect until July, it seems kind of ridiculous then that you say 10 cents less than the rate if it's actually not until the following July, if they changed it. I'd like to see it stick on the calendar. I think it'll fit in your budget, it'll be fine. Half a year, 6 months, if they change it, isn't gonna break the county, unless they did $1.50 instead of 57. That's all I'm saying, and so, I mean, I realize you're not even doing this today, so it's moot, but I just wanted to throw that out there that,
You want it to stay on the calendar date?
that's my opinion. I'm not the boss.
Okay.
It does make sense, Jessica, to me, if you're gonna say 10 cents below the rate or whatever you're gonna
Mhm.
set, that it would
Right.
change on a calendar year basis.
Any other questions? Well, we can bring that up at another time, I guess. I don't think it needs to be tabled. It wasn't an action item anyway. So we'll just bring that up at another time.
Would you guys be willing to set it on for next week? That way we know budget-wise or have a better idea budget-wise.
I will if you make the motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to put it on for next week.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next is utility permits, secondary roads.
No utility permits.
Secondary roads. Grounds froze.
Grounds.
All right, next is approval of federal aid agreements with Iowa DOT for bridge replacement projects. BROS-CO 4280-5F-42 and BROS-CO 4281-5F-42.
He's looking at the map already.
290 down here.
All right,
All right, that's that FM route, but that bridge is closed right now. The east one is.
that's that one that comes off the quarry, Gifford Quarry.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well-traveled road.
Yes, it's on the FM route. I think some of you have gotten a few complaints about that bridge being closed, so
I've got inquiries.
we have trouble keeping the safety fence up down there.
So I'll ask for the approval on the two bridges.
I'll make that
Approval of
motion.
federal aid agreements.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? A lot of bridges that are down, and it's hard to get them all up. But how many did you had total that are restricted? You have a lot of them that are restricted, don't you?
Oh, it's 20-something more.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and look.
It's on the internet now. I ran that off. I think everybody's sharing in that difficulty within the state.
Hearing any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Other business? Hearing none, I'll ask for adjournment.
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
It's the only one I forgot.
I know.